right, so today we're solving equations. So I don't want you doing any guessing for this. We're going to learn the proper process of how to do this. And if you stick with me and do it my way now, you're going to make it much easier for yourself later when the questions get harder. All right, so to solve an equation, we need to get the letter on its own on one side of the equation. So let's have a look at this first one. They've asked you to solve it. So that's what we're doing, finding out what that letter equals. So we have a left and a right-hand side. I'm always going to be talking about the left and the right-hand side, so you need to know what's going on there. Now, we have our letter P over on the left. So I want to get that letter on its own. So to do that, I'm going to get rid of the plus 12. So I want you to get your red pen and circle the plus 12. So what we're going to do now is go to the other side and do the opposite. All right, so I'm going to write down this 30 first, and then I'm going to do the opposite of plus 12. So it's going to come over here. When it comes over, it's going to be the opposite of plus 12, which is minus 12. Okay, so the way I explain this is we're always doing the opposite thing when we go to the other side. So it's a bit like when you have two teams playing each other. All right, if you swap teams and you go to the other team, you need to take your shirt off and put their shirt on. All right, so we do the opposite. Okay, now you're going to go to your calculator and work that out, but we have to first write down P equals, because that's over on the left-hand side. Now you're going to work that out on your calculator, and that should give you 18. And just underline it, you're finished. So there's going to be 3 lines for all of these, and I want 3 lines of working for every single question. I want the question, then the working line after that where we move something over, and then the answer off your calculator. All right, so let's look at the next one. This one's a bit trickier. So the M is on the left. We're going to keep it there. So that means we have to get rid of this 5. Now, a lot of people do this question wrong. So what we're looking at here is the sign in front of the 5. So it's the plus 5 here that we're moving over. All right, it's not the plus written behind it. That plus sign belongs to the M. All right, so don't worry about that one. It's the plus in front of it. So I want you to write a plus in front of it with your red pen and circle that. Okay, so over on the right we have 2. Now that's coming across, and we're going to do the opposite. The opposite of plus 5 is minus 5. Write it down. Okay, so we've still got our N on our left-hand side, and now you're going to work that out on your calculator, and it will give you minus 3. And you're finished. 3 lines. Okay, so make sure your equal signs are all lined up. See how I've lined mine all up already? They've got to be in a line so you can see the left and the right really easily. All right, this next one's a bit tricky as well. So between the 3 and the M, it's a times sign. Okay, so just write that red times sign in so you understand that. So we're going to get rid of the times 3 so that the M can be by itself. So we're going to come over here and write down our 18 because that's already there. And then we're going to do the opposite of times 3, which is divided by 3. And remember, I always write my divisions with a fraction bar. So that says 18 divided by 3 when we write it like that. Now put it in your calculator with the fraction key and work it out, and that will give you 6 over on that side. All right, let's look at the next one. We want to keep the y on the left here, and we want to get rid of the minus 16. So over on the right, we copy what's already there. And now we're going to take the minus 16 over. We're going to do the opposite. What's the opposite of minus? Plus. So we're plussing 16. Go to your calculator. And we end up with y equals 56. I don't want to see anyone just writing 56. Okay? It's got a left and a right. You've got to have that y equals 56. All right, on this next one, the letter is on the right-hand side, and that's where it's staying. Okay, the letter will never move. This will though. So we're going to just make sure we've got some room here. 7 will just move over slightly. It's written first, but move it over a bit. And then we're going to come over here and do the opposite of minus 11, which is plus 11. Work that out on your calculator and you'll get 18 on the left-hand side, and over on the right, keep your letter. All right, number 6. Now, that fraction bar you should know by now means divided by. So circle what I've circled with your red pen. So we're going to have the m stay there on the left, and we're going to get rid of the divided by 3. Okay, so on the right-hand side we have 4 already sitting there. Now we're going to come over and do the opposite of divided by 3, which is times 3. So we keep our m on our left-hand side, work that out on your calculator, and you'll get a 12. Okay, next question. We want to keep the a, we want to get rid of divided by 2. Circle it. So if you circle it, you know you're going to get rid of it. Okay, I really want you to do that circling. Don't skip that step. I want you to see what you're doing here. All right, so we're going to write down -4. We're going to bring this over and do the opposite of divided by 2, which is times 2. Keep your a on your left-hand side. Put the numbers in your calculator and you'll get -8. Next question. We want to keep the m on the left. That means we need to get rid of our -3. So let's write our 16 down first. What's the opposite of -3? +3. Write it down. Okay, keep your m on the left. Work out your numbers. And the calculator will give you 19. All right, number 9. Keep your letter. Get rid of the +7 that's with the letter. It's going now. So we're going to copy down our -1. What's the opposite of +7? -7. Write it down. Use your calculator. Type it in. And you'll get -8. So we've got n equals -8. All right, number 10. This one is hard. Right, very hard in exams. People muck this up. Be careful. So when you've got -2x, don't forget this little times sign in here. And we're getting rid of all of that times -2. So we will get the x by itself when we do that. Copy what's already down on the right first. And now we're going to do the opposite of, now this is the tricky bit, you're doing the opposite of the times. So the opposite of times is divide, isn't it? So instead of timesing, we're going to be dividing by -2. So some people think that you're going to do the opposite of the times and the minus. You're not. The main thing that's happening here is the times. So the opposite of that is divided by, and the -2 just goes with it this time. All right, now put that in your fraction key. -6 over -2 equals, and it will give you 3. Don't want anyone trying to do these in your head. You've got to use your calculator when you get to that last line. All right, so I think you'll be able to do them. I really think you can do these, boys. So just copy the question, show me what you're doing when you move your number to the opposite side and get your answer. Equal signs stay in line. All right, good luck with your homework.